what's important? What advice? What could you tell me to help me think about making my life as meaningful as it can be, based on what your life is about? What can I learn from you? What can you teach me? And I guess the same way of asking all that is in one question is, what is your, in sum, what I'm really asking, remember I was telling you if you have this, a day with this 18-year-old Hispanic, and she really wants to learn about what you've learned in life. And so the question is, what philosophy would you have to share with her? What would you tell her are the most important things in life, even though she's only 18 and she's not going to know it all at 18, but what are values and belief systems and important things that you think she needs to know that would help her to have a fuller life? What would you share with her? You have a day with her. What kinds of things would you talk to her about?
It would be several things.
Okay, good.
More than one.
All right. Just start off with one then.
Well, I think I'm no expert on this kind of an answer, but I'd say like people. Be kind to people. And also, if you're a man and woman also. And I don't know what else to tell you. There's so many other things. So many things, I don't know which one to tell you.
Well, what would you caution? What kind of cautions would you give this young woman?
Be sincere. Be sincere. You know, if you tell somebody something, make sure you mean it. And I don't know. Your dad and I got along very well with people because everybody thought that we were. We didn't realize it, but everybody said we were so kind to people, and we met people that thought we would be conceited. And why? No way were we ever, and to this day. Why be that way? Just you know, just love human beings, and also everybody wants to get somewhere in life ahead of, you know, whatever. And well, there's so many things I could say.
How about as a woman? What special advice would you give her as a woman?
As a woman, not as a mother, but as a woman.
As a woman, exactly.
As a woman.
Thinking of yourself when you were 18, I know the situation was different then, but it's woman to woman, older woman to a younger woman. What advice would you give her?
Well, when I was younger, when I was a young woman, you haven't lived very long yet, so you don't, you know, I don't remember having any particular thing to say to another one about life or whatever.
What about now, though? What would you say to her?
Well, there's so many things I could say now. I'd have to think about it, write it down.
But what would be one important thing you would tell her, woman to woman?
Oh, golly, I don't know. Try also to stay healthy as much as you can. Golly, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you.
What about a woman in relationship to men? Here's this young woman. What advice would you give her, or what values would you want to share with her in terms of her being a woman to men?
Just to young, to not your husband, but just to men?
Men, right.
Well, golly, that's a hard one because it depends on the man too, how you're going to think about him.
What
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If, like with your father, I knew he was a very intelligent, good-looking, educated man, and a lot of girls were after him, and I played hard to get. I guess maybe that's why I got him. I didn't just. He had to come to me. I didn't run after him, and I say that, stay back a little bit. Don't run after men just like that. If they care for you and you show you're sincere and good, and kind, it'll work out. It'll be all right. I don't know how else I'd have.
That's good. I mean, that's Thanks for answering that. Now, to the same person now, from a different perspective, what advice would you have for her as a Hispanic in interactions with Anglos or the Anglo world?
Well, when I was a teenager and, up to whatever age, young, in those days back home, can I mention where?
Sure.
In Trinidad, where we grew up, we didn't feel that we were all, it wasn't like it got to be later. We were just felt so at home, and we loved everybody, Anglos, Italians, Spanish, name it. And we were very comfortable with the whole, with life. No problem then. And I don't know, it just worked out fine for everybody. We were all good teenagers or what have you, in our 20s, and working hard and ambitious. A lot of the men back home did well, and we got married and had children. Everything was just great in those days. I mentioned Trinidad, didn't I?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Trinidad, Stonewall, and Segundo. I'm not very good at this, Bill. Let me tell you.
You're excellent, Mom. Okay, can I ask you, can I shift?
Sure.
Thank you for that information. I want to shift a little bit. Now let's shift to today. You've told me several times that, which is obvious, that you spend a lot of time here alone, day and night, right? I mean, yeah, you have friends and people come over day and night, but you do spend a lot of time alone. One of the things that I would think that happens when you're alone is that you spend a lot of time thinking about your life, the immediate past and the far past. Now, obviously, you think about your sons and definitely
My grandchildren.
your grandchildren, exactly. You think about your friends today as
My
well as
brother
in the
and
past,
sister.
and your own immediate family,
Right.
brother and sister, and of course, Dad takes a lot of your thoughts.
Right.
So now my question is, what kinds of things, when you start to think about your past, whether it be the far past or the recent past, what kind of things take up your mind, take up your time in thinking? What do you think about? I mean, what are the important things that you think about that really are close to you and you become very emotional about, in a good way?
Well, something that will never leave me, and I think about it often, even now at my age, all these years that have gone by, that my brother and I didn't get to know our father. So many people, so many young babies, children, get to know their mother and father, and my brother and I didn't. And I think, I still believe it or not, I think so much that he loved me so much. My brother was not born yet, but what a pity that we didn't get to know our father. And because he loved me, my mother was expecting my brother, and I was just 4 years old or 5 years old. That I think a lot, still at this time in my life, I think a lot about that. What a pity. And then, well, I just will always think that way, I guess. And I don't forget.
Okay, so what else do you think about?
Well, I did get to know my mother's father, my grandfather, Ortiz. And I didn't meet my grandmother. She passed away when she was younger, my mother's mother. I got to know 3 uncles. And of course, my mother remarried, and I had more brothers and sisters. This was great. I was the oldest. I'm the oldest. And, well, I'm still here at this age and think a lot about those old times back home. I had a happy childhood, though, in a way that my mother said that I was a very happy child, very happy young girl. I danced a lot and didn't get a chance to go to school that much, but I've worked hard all my life, and I've had a wonderful life with my husband and my children and grandchildren, and it's made up for a lot of other things that I didn't
such as?
Well, you mean with now?
No, that you didn't have. You said. What kind of things did you not have?
Well, first I say I didn't have a father. I didn't know a father. I knew my grandfather, no grandmother. Got to know brothers and sisters. That was a blessing. Um, didn't get to go to school enough like I wanted to. And those days way back then of depression was bad for everybody. But somehow or other, God helped me, and I married a wonderful man, and have wonderful children and grandchildren, and that's a blessing, and I thank God for that. What else?
Okay, you just mentioned God. Tell me a little bit about
God.
your viewpoints and now how you believe about God. When you think of God, what comes to your mind? How do you? I know you were raised Catholic. I mean, I understand that, but how do you feel about God?
I feel about God, it never leaves me. In fact, just 2 or 3 days ago, I have a church nearby, Catholic church nearby, and every now and then when I'm depressed or I cry a lot, I miss Abe, my husband. I go there, I take the rosary, and I pray a few rosaries for him and for my family. And sometimes I go and I play mass. It wasn't brought up that way. I guess it has stayed with me. I guess I always will be feeling this way. And when I come home, I feel good about it. And that has helped me a lot. It's something that will always stay with me.
Do you think you're a good Catholic?
Well, I want to say this. As I get older, I miss Mass every now and then, which I never, if I could help it, sometimes you can't, if you're traveling or whatever, you can't attend Mass on Sunday, but more as I'm older now, I just pray at home. I go to Mass, but I don't go like I used to, but I pray the rosary, and that makes up for missing Mass every Sunday. And I feel that God is with me all the time, because I ask Him for the health of my children and my grandchildren and the rest of my family.
So it sounds like you still consider yourself definitely a Catholic and a practicing Catholic.
Oh, you bet. Yes.
No, you have no doubt that there's no God, or
well,
do you?
No, I believe there's some power. I believe it could be God. What else? I mean, I will always believe that. And
some power. Do you believe that it's God, though, the way the Catholic Church has portrayed God, or do you think there might be another type of power?
Well, no, I still believe that. I guess I was brought up that so many years that way. I feel that way, yes. Right.
Do you think the church has always done the right thing, or do you think, I don't mean the church here, but just the church around the world, the Catholic Church? Do you have some thoughts about the Catholic Church? Whether, from Rome or from Latin America or even here?
Well, that would be too deep for me to,
Okay. So you don't have real clear thoughts about that?
It's just, it'll always be the same feeling about Catholic Church.
I'm going to change this subject quite a bit here now, okay?
Yeah. I need another
Yeah, definitely. Question to ask you. Now, just listen to the question very carefully. There are a lot of things going on in this world, right? As you know them. This world meaning Lakewood, this world meaning Denver, this world meaning Colorado, this world meaning United States, this world meaning the planet, the whole world, right? And my question to you, actually it's two subparts, is what do you think is going on today as you understand that you think is good? What kind of good things are going on in the world that you hear about, read about, think about, know about, see? What's going on that's good about people in the world?
Different from before?
Or the same?
Well, I have...
Different or the same? What's going on that you like, that makes you feel good about the world?
Okay. Well, I don't know that I can say about the world, but I can say about our country.
Okay, that's good.
The United States of
Sure.
America. Is that years ago, and I remember so many times, there's so much good now that there's a lot of charity work that I think is fantastic. We didn't have a lot of that years ago. I remember the depression and all that. We didn't have that as much as we do now. I think now this is beautiful. It's fantastic that in this United States of America, we help. Is that the telephone? We help. There's so much charity to help the poor, the sick. That to me, the other day I read something and I cried. I was so happy to know that we're still doing that to help the poor and the sick. That to me is fantastic.
Around the world.
Well, I don't know about around the world. Maybe there's more around the world. Years ago when we lived abroad, there wasn't that much. Now maybe there is. But our country continues to do even more now, and that pleases me very much. The little children and also that they go to school more now, that make sure that they get some kind of an education. Years ago, when I was young, it wasn't that way at all. I can tell you that. I went through it.
What was it like?
If you dropped out of school, so what? I mean, why go to school anyway? All you do is wear out shoes and waste your time. That really was in those days by the Hispanics. I'm not going to say by everybody else, but some Hispanics. And now that's different, and that pleases me very much.
Anything else that makes you feel good about what's happening in Colorado or this country or the world? That makes you feel real good?
Well, there's something that doesn't make me feel good.
Oh, what's that?
But that's about maybe the world, but in this country for sure. Can I say it?
Sure.
There's so much killing and so much killing each other, human beings, and I wonder what's going to happen. All these horrible things that happen, human beings. Why? I guess I don't know. I hope it doesn't.
Did you hear about this Texas slaying yesterday? You didn't hear about this slaying? This man who killed 22 people? Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes. Why? There's something wrong. Maybe I'm thinking, could it be the drugs? Evidently, maybe most of it is that. I don't know, or whatever. But there's no need for human beings to killing each other. Is it, dear God, don't let that happen so much. If you can help us do. It's sad, to read so much about that. It scares me, saddens me.
Is there anything else that saddens you besides people being inconsiderate to others and killing people? Is there anything else that concerns you about where the world is?
Oh, sometimes I think that the world, that we're going to be okay. I'm thinking maybe the whole world will be a better place. But I don't know if I'm going to live that long to see it.
How about Maya? Will Maya see it?
I hope she'll see it. Yes, I hope so. You bet.
You don't think I'll see it, though?
Well, you may. You're still young. Sure. I think that it certainly should get better and not worse. Because you read so much about all these sad things that are happening in the world.
What's stopping it from getting real good? What's stopping it from being a real good world or a real good country?
Well, I don't know that I know that the answer to that.
But what do you think?
But I think that maybe so many things, but drugs maybe is one of them. I don't know what else to say. That makes it happen that way. This is a beautiful world. It's just beautiful. It's a big world, and there's so many good people, and some, just spoil it for others. I'm not very good at this, Dennis. But I'm just giving you the best I can. I don't know.
You read recently about a lot of big changes going on in Russia, the Soviet Union. to the extent that you've read and understood what's going on in terms of their changes, how do you feel about that?
I think that's fantastic. I think that maybe our country here in the United States of America, I think that maybe what they know about us has sank in. I don't know if I can use that word. To change somewhat to a better, what do I call it? A better world for them, or a better life, or whatever. A better, I don't know what to say. Better way of doing things, living. That's a hard one. I'm sure there's a good answer for that, but I don't have it. Tomorrow I'll think about it. It's too late.
So here you have grandchildren, right?
Mm.
Let's take one example. Obviously, one I would raise, and let's say Maya, one of your grandchildren. And you know, Dad was Hispanic, and you're Hispanic and Lebanese, right? And who knows what else. But basically, what you and Dad brought to me as one of your sons is the Hispanic culture and values. Okay? And then I then have a child with Sue that's Maya. And my question to you is, what aspects of the Hispanic culture, in the biggest sense of the word, not specifically but generally, would you hope that Maya continues as she gets older and becomes a mother and a grandmother? What aspects of your culture and Dad's culture and your parents and your grandparents hope continue through to Maya and her children as Hispanics?
That she'll feel real good about it, because whatever the mixture is, it's good. I mean, there's no reason to be ashamed of it or excuses about it, or just be happy because they're good mixtures. I mean, why not? We're all human beings and good people, and I'm sure she'll be very proud of her mixture of, Hispanic, Lebanese, Irish, whatever, English, whatever it is.
Right. Can you be a little more specific as to what aspects you'd like for her to continue? For example, would you like for her to continue knowing Spanish? That's an obvious example, but that's one example. What aspects would you like for her to continue that came from you and your dad and Dad's family?
Oh, definitely. Never forget her Spanish. What do you call it? Reading. And the Lebanese, I can't tell you much about, but the Lebanese are there's a lot of Catholic Lebanese that are Catholics also. And so be proud of whatever she is, the Hispanic, the Irish, the English, the whatever. Be proud of it. Why not? We're all good human beings, good people. And I think she would be very proud of it, and I'm sure she won't ever, what do you call it, deny any of it.
Should it be any different for Tanika, you think, who's younger and a little
Tanika,
more huerita?
oh, my little Tanika, I don't know about my little Tanika. I'm sure that Tanika will. She loves her sister so much, and they're so close. And Maya is so good to Tanika, and Tanika they're both bright, little, intelligent little girls. They're lovely. They're so sharp that Tanika will do all right with her sister. They'll be okay all the way around.